there's a fallacy that a lot of people end up pursuing almost dogmatically, and that is they're chasing this illusion of marketability that's based on, having that Swiss Army knife of 45 different skills that they can pull out at any moment, and know just enough about to get themselves into trouble. The challenge being they know enough to get themselves into trouble, but not enough to get themselves back out of trouble. So they're chasing marketability by saying, oh yes, I've done one project with Gatsby, I've done one project with Kubernetes, I've done one project in React Native. So they've touched on a lot of little areas and are putting it on their resume to get past HR keyword filters and LinkedIn and things like that. But the big tip that I give people is go with the where your comfort level is right now. Because if you can walk into an interview, if you can walk into, some kind of job application setting, whether you're freelancing and trying to get a client, whether you're a dev looking to join a team, if you can walk in with that confidence that you know what you can contribute and you know that you can build and support a product that's going to actually be what that person with the money wants you to produce, you're going to be in a much better position to land that gig than if you go in going, well, I know a little bit about a lot of things and I can probably hopefully get you to pay me to learn the rest. That's a less marketable position than walking in saying, you know what, yes, I do know how to build a responsive interface and I can probably get the backend server running and have it, shipped out to AWS for you. Yes, I can do all those things. And now I can feel comfortable taking that contract, or now I can feel comfortable joining that team to help, do those particular types of tasks.
I love that. I love that so much. One of the things I've always said is try to be a T-shaped engineer. I'd also say 10x engineer, one person makes 5 people 2 times more productive, but that's later on in your career. Earlier on, I think T-shaped is important because if you go very deep into a set of subject matters where you can have extreme confidence in your ability to communicate your proficiency with this, and the framework and the technology doesn't get in the way of you understanding what's going behind the scenes, you're able to come in and confidently speak. But then the T-shape across the top is now you also have the confidence to say, well, I know a little bit about this, a little bit about that, and I know I can go deeper into those things if I need to.
100%. And a lot of people, start off and they're worried about niching themselves into back-end, front-end, DevOps, QA, those kind of roles. But we all start off when we're learning a new skill, a new language, how to cook a new meal. We start off with the things that we're comfortable with. And to go with that T-shaped idea, at the end of the day, we want to be a jail cell. We want all these different bars coming down where we have deep skills in a number of different areas, but go with where you're comfortable, learn where you're comfortable, because that's where you don't have to think about the tools and the libraries and the specific patterns as much as you get to focus on how they can apply to the task at hand. All these tools and libraries and different development techniques that come out, they're all there for the purpose of getting the thinking out of the way. You shouldn't have to think about those types of activities. You should be able to focus on business logic and what is the value of the product that you're trying to get shipped.
Yeah, I like the T-shape analogy a lot. So as you start seeing, I'm a developer, I'm starting to expand some of my knowledge base. Where am I going? Like where are some of the resources that you're finding really helpful, or developers, that are really the go-to spots as I'm, increasing education or trying to learn a new stack? Or
So there's a couple of really big resources out there that people tend to underestimate. I mean, we know the big ones like Hacker News and Lobsters and Echo.js and, those big sites that have lots of traffic going to them where lots of articles get posted. Yes, those are super valuable, but also check out subreddits related to your language, your stack, the particular areas where your focus is. Those are incredibly valuable. Old school, like, it's not 2010 anymore for sure, but there's still a wealth of information that's in curated newsletters that are out there for every platform, every language that you can imagine, every database flavor you've ever heard of. There's curated weekly newsletters that come out that are smart people in the industry putting together what the right resources are and saying, here's the stuff that if you digest this, you're going to be leveling up on a week over week over week basis. And certainly there's no requirement that you read every single one of them, but the ones that are relevant to the type of work that you're doing or the type of skills that you want to develop, those are the things that are going to ladder you up on a weekly basis. But the last thing that is a resource that I hate to even say this is my gray beard talking, but read the documentation. Like, go, if you're using a library, if you're using a platform, if you're using some build tool or some database, just go read the docs. We joke about, people building things, IKEA furniture, without reading the instructions. We joke about people getting lost and not asking for directions. There's tons of documentation that is available that is one of your best resources for learning how to do the things you want to do, because we now have a pattern and a trend that's come up in industry documentation, which is including example code. So the team that built the tool is showing you how to use the tool and giving you an actual example of code that shows you how it works. So you want to get started with something? Go use their code.